today we're going to be reacting to Andrew Tate's e-commerce brand, and specifically it's a clothing brand. A few people don't really know that he actually runs Ecom, but these big personal brands, one thing they've all got in common is they're trying to hit every single area of the market. And whether you like this guy or not, one thing that you cannot deny is he is a master of selling products online, and there's no two ways about that. This is different to any other clothing brand that you've seen in your entire life, and not because it's the person running it, but because all the social media platforms banning the guy who runs this brand, okay? So how do you sell and market a product if you keep getting banned everywhere? Well, this is what we're gonna go over today. This is a very unique strategy. We're gonna break down the exact site, how they're selling products, the things that work on this site, the things that don't work on this site. I thought, what is going on? What is going on? Improvements to be made and the things that you can implement and steal yourself. And overall, we're gonna give a ranking on the branding, conversion rate optimization, the product market fit, and the marketing strategy at the end of this video. I am not holding back in this video. We're gonna rip this to shreds and we're gonna just keep it 100%, okay? First thing you gotta realize is this is not a normal marketing this is not a normal marketing strategy, yeah? Because you can't advertise through Facebook, right? This is gonna be the favorite place for a clothing brand. The reason for that is a clothing brand, it doesn't solve a problem, and it's not necessarily a thing that people are going to be searching for. Now, people could search Andrew Tate merch, but if you're planning to advertise through Google or Facebook, the methods are very different, right? So Google is best for a search branded product. So if someone searches Nike shoes, they're going to go to Google and search that, right? They're not going to search that on Facebook. This means that the traffic on Google is a lot more search intent. Okay, people have a lot more search intent. They're searching for a specific product. However, if you're selling on Facebook, you can showcase that product with a fancy advert, and you can try and get the interest of the people that you marketed. So now, if you're selling on Facebook, the difference is these people are scrolling on social media, they're scrolling on bullshit. You're interrupting them on their zombie session, aren't you? So it's more difficult to sell. Now, I'm not saying it's not possible, but you have to sell it in a different way, right? So Google is more like, right, you're searching for something, here's the search result, this is the product I'm selling, you sell it in the best way. So that's why it works better for branded and higher ticket, to be honest. But if you've got a clothing brand, you've got to do a little bit more extra work. This is like when you go on Facebook, you're gonna see that someone's selling a clothing brand, but it's a video of a model wearing it, and they're in fucking Greece or somewhere like that, yeah? This guy gets some of the most reach out of any personal brand on the planet. Now, if you had that on a channel that you were allowed to have, okay, and you weren't banned from everywhere, you could essentially run ads as retargeting campaigns, because you're getting so much organic traffic and brand exposure. You can run the ads and it'll feed the engine, right? But the problem is he can't do this. So he's actually just selling this product by people finding it, really. And one place they do advertise is Google, probably because they're just not banned off this one and they're banned off everywhere else. But somebody's got to search for the product. So look, you'll see here, just because they're advertising on Google doesn't mean that the main channel is Google. Andrew Tate is a broad personal brand, meaning that he's just trying to appeal to everybody. It's volume, he's trying to get everybody to know about it. With that being said, what then becomes incredibly important is brand awareness, and that's going to come through product placement. Now, this is the best way that you can sell through a personal brand, because what you're going to have, especially with guys like Andrew Tate, I mean, you'll know some Andrew Tate 100% supporters who spend hours and hours and hours watching this guy, right? The reason why this is a perfect scenario to sell a product is because if they consume all of the content of you living your day-to-day life, if you've got an interesting lifestyle, you're wearing the product that you sell on a day-to-day, you're essentially running adverts for a product that you're selling, but you're selling the product indirectly, right? So I'll give you an example. This is the product. This is one of the main pieces of clothing. They're both wearing it in the videos, and people are watching this, and then they go find the product to buy it. So you can imagine a customer's watching this video, probably watching every single video. It's product placement, right? And you can't beat this. Okay, you can run the biggest Facebook ads campaigns in the world, but you cannot beat somebody sitting down and watching a product being used by a person that they know personally, right? Because this is what personal brands are. You know these people personally because how much you watch them. So the product placement is something that can't be replicated. So yeah, unfortunately, they're not running Facebook ads. This would be a massive, massive bonus. But they are running Google ads, so they will be getting a lot of traffic through Google. This will just pick up all the search results. And obviously Google Organic as well. Let's take a look at the website. Now, straight away, there is no email pop-up. What the fuck? What the actual f***? You need the email pop-up because the problem is if you are pushing a lot of traffic to your website and you're not collecting the email addresses, you are killing a potential 40% of your revenue. Email marketing should be generating 40 to 60% of the revenue for your brand. Now, with that being said, a lot of them will come from abandoned checkouts, right? That's going to be one of your hottest flows. However, you have to give yourself as much opportunity as possible to capture that email address, because when you send emails to a customer, one, you've got the ability to send them targeted messaging and marketing, and two, that's the only data that you own, and three, it's free to send. I mean, it's not free, but it's like hundreds of thousands of people you can reach for a few $100s. In reality, compared to pay-per-click and Google ads and Facebook ads, email's the cheapest option, meaning it's the most profitable, right? So if you're pushing all this organic traffic, if you can capture organic traffic and market to them through email, 6 months down the line, 12 months down the line, that is where you've got a real organic engine, and that is what cannot be replicated. So yeah, they've not got an email pop-up, which is a bit of a shame, to be honest with you, but I have already signed up to the email list because you can do so at the bottom of the site. And one thing that I want to say is, if you're asking for an email address, you need to have an offer. Okay, now an offer is something like 10% off. 10% off works great because you're going to get a lot of people that are going to buy anyway and they're just claiming they're 10% off. But there's going to be a lot of people who sign up and don't buy. Now, when they get the 10% off, to redeem that, they have to buy something, so you've already made the sale. Or you're incentivizing the email. You can capture the email, you can send them 10 emails over the next 30 days. You might catch that person on a good time when they get paid 30 days down the line, and that's where you get more sales. The problem is, if you're not getting people onto your email address, you're killing the cash flow cycle. People are going to be buying 6 months from now, 12 months from now, a month from now, 2 weeks from now, if you capture that email address. But if you're not capturing that email address, then you're killing that entire cycle. And the thing is with email as well, the difference between email and advertising on social media, it's way more personalized, right? So you can set a segment of people based on a target group or a gender or whatever, and you can send them emails. Now, if you're running a personal brand-based ecom brand, you want to be talking like it's you. You want to be using the type of language that you use. So if you were talking like Tate on the email inbox, people would be opening the emails and thinking, oh, I've got an email from Tate, right? And then they buy. That's how it works. So that's what ideally you want. You need the email pop-up. There's no two ways about it. But I can see here they're actually asking. Oh, so they've got an AI chatbot, right? Okay, yeah, they've got an AI chatbot, but this is not going to have the same opt-in rate because it's like, do you want to join our mailing list? There's no offer. You need an offer. It's called a lead magnet. You need the offer. So first thing that I want to say is the branding. Now, the branding's good. This is sort of like Call of Duty style, right? It's very on brand for his like military type of personal brand. This is a very good idea. Dog tags, it's like military style, hustle, alpha, you know, even the font. It reminds you of like playing Call of Duty or something like that, especially like with these boxes around the product. So yeah, it looks pretty good. The overall branding of the site it's something that you wouldn't just expect a normal bland site from this guy, obviously with the personal brand that he's running. So you know, you'd expect to see something like that. So for me, that's good. Another thing that you want to notice is with a brand like this, and especially all personal brand-led e-commerce brands, is the brand positioning. The dog tag, Call of Duty style, that's part of the brand positioning, but one thing that is also massive is the type of verbiage that you use. So you want to be talking like you talk on the personal brand. So you see here, like, consumed by warriors, right? Fuel with fire. Battle-tested flavors, Cobra Shield, Fireblood, Money Suit. This is probably like the biggest Cuzzy Bro outfit you could ever wear. Full velour Andrew Tate tracksuit.
That's a nice Audi you got there, mate. Audi? It's a fucking RS3, you daft bastard.
Like, what the fuck? Anyway, it's on brand though, isn't it? Like Money Suit. They know what they're doing. This is copywriting, it's the type of language. So the people and the customers that he's created, right? He's talking to them in a way that matches his brand. Feels a bit more authentic when they're shopping online. Now, one thing that I will say is the site looks pretty decent. It does. You know, it's very on brand. The type of wording that they're using is very good. And, you know, you can see there's a very strong presence with this. And look, whether you hate this guy, whether you love this guy, whether you're on the fence, there's one thing that you cannot deny, and that is the fact that this is one of the best personal brands that we've ever seen. Whether you agree with the way that he's done it or not, this is one of the strongest brands that you've ever seen online, right? One of the best ones to ever do it. And that's whether you like him or not. That's just a simple fact. Like I said, you can disagree with how he's done it, you can disagree with what they stand for, but the attention and the way they monetized it, you know, it's You've got to respect it. You have got to respect it. Now, one thing I will say is the product photos are shit. The product photos are shit. Like, what is going on here? You've not got any backgrounds on the images. Some of them you have, and some of them you haven't. This is like a CGI photo. This one's got some white border on it. These product pages, the product photos, they're more on brand, but like the initial page, it doesn't make sense. Like the photos are not bad themselves, but they're not congruent, right? Like you've got a white background on this, some like shittiest white background you've ever seen in your life, but then you've got no white background on this, so that and none on this, so it doesn't really make sense. It doesn't really look good. What is that? What is that? I'm not being funny, right? $83 for a towel, and this is the photo that you put on. This is like the worst photo I've ever seen in my life, and I've just put it again there for some reason. But look, guys, the thing is, you're running a personal brand, yeah? The people buying this, they're so bought into you that they'll just buy anything that you sell. They will just buy anything that you sell. Can't knock it, and this is not the main hustle of these guys. Like, so yeah, and another thing, I did sign up to the email. This is the first email, the welcome flow. So with the welcome flow, you essentially want to introduce people to your brand. Now, the reason why this is so important is because if you're capturing all them email addresses, the welcome flow is another opportunity to where you can send 4 to 5 emails and messages to introduce people to your brand at different levels. So usually if it's a brand that people don't really know, maybe it's the first time that you're on the website, you want to educate them on the story of your brand. So if you're an independent mom and dad shop, you want to be going on that you're handmade, you want to be going on about when the business started, and then you want to offer them a 10% off, and then you want to offer them a reminder of the 10% off. Obviously, if you're selling through a personal brand, like everyone knows who this guy is, right? No one's signing onto this email list and doesn't know who this guy is, so they might as well just get straight to the business. And yeah, I mean, it's decent. There's no offer there, right? It's like, what's the point of collecting the email address? Because there's no offer on it, so you might as well just try and get them to buy it straight away. There's no incentive for people to open the email and then go buy it, so you might as well just put a little bit of an offer on there. And if you haven't got the paid ad spend, taking the margin down, then it makes a lot of sense, right? So something we've got here, fit guide, that's always good to see. You've got different sizes, you can tell it's all very on brand. Like even the add to cart button, the call to action button's very good. You've got normal social proof here. And this type of wording, it's like trusted by 100,000 men of distinction, right? So it's very, very on brand all the way through. This looks pretty good where they've got the title of the products on the side. And look, again, personal brand led product. So they've got professional photos. The guy who runs the personal brand is on the photos. It works. Calling it armor. This is a pretty good price point, right? It's probably getting decent money for this, profit-wise. So yeah, it's 80% cotton, and you've got 280 GSM. GSM stands for grams per square meter of cotton. And the heavier the GSM, then the thicker and the higher quality that the product is, right? So that's a pretty good high quality jumper. And you'd expect so for the price, like $97, that's what you're looking for really. And yeah, nice little upsells here. Don't know what this is about. This doesn't really make any sense. You've got some reviews here, testimonials. Now, the only thing that I would say is whatever product that you go to, the testimonials are all the exact same. You want to level up the testimonials by having testimonials for that exact product to build that social proof, because people trust people more than they trust the brand that's selling it, and that's for whatever brand, right? So the more in-depth you can have your product reviews, right? The ideal ones are where you've got people with a face on, maybe they're doing a video review of the product. That might be a bit overkill for this site, but you want them definitely posting some photos on wearing the product, because people buy from people. Now again, these guys know what they're doing. It's different, right? They're not relying on this clothing brand paying the bills. Like, they're gonna prioritize the info products, right? Because the margins are better, but they might as well just have it there just to collect some of the spillover in super high-end fans, or maybe people who just want the clothing. So look, the type of product, it's all very like cards and cash. It's all very training, catchphrasey. It's all very on-brand products as well. Now, this is the thing with the personal brand-led products. The personal brand is built before the actual website and products in most cases. So you're actually choosing products that fit the lifestyle of the people who run the personal brand. So it's done the opposite way around, right? But it's a lot stronger once you sell it like that, because people are not buying the products for the products, they're buying the products because of the lifestyle. Now, the reason why this brand works so well, in my opinion, and this is one of the strongest points, is because people connect. I watch this guy on YouTube for 10 hours a day. I want to be like him. all I have to do is buy this product and then I can be like him, right? That's people's subconscious, whether they like to admit it or not, that's what people think like. This is why when you use it very on brand and you call it like, right, Cobra Shield, oh, this is this guy that I watch, this is his shield, I want to be like him, I need his shield, this is a good financial purchase. You know, they are making these purchases in order to be like the guy that they're watching, okay? So look, as far as products and product market fit, it fits very well, very, very well, okay? And these are all things that the guy wears and it's like a constant advert, so it fits very, very well. Now, let's have a look what happens when you add a product to the cart. So look, add to cart, oh, there we go, size medium, and there's no upsell. There is no upsell. You want to have an upsell on the product page. When you add something to cart, you want to be offered another product. I know it says here, add your brother on tag for $47, but like, you can't see it. Like, if you're offering another product, you need to be able to see it. Who's going to spend $47 on something they can't even see? So you have to add that. You have to add a picture of it at least. Like, come on. Because if you can get people to spend more money, right, then you're going to be more profitable, right? If you can get double the average order value, then it's like selling twice the amount of products, it's twice the amount of orders, but you're dealing with half the customers. So it's definitely important to add. So yeah, this is a Shopify Plus plan, and this is a fully custom checkout, which looks pretty good, to be honest. You know, it's very, very, very on brand. And look, create a top G shopping account. The language stays the same all the way through. Yeah, look, the shipping, $21, right? You're gonna find if you are selling worldwide, you're gonna run into a problem, and that is the problem that some people in certain regions are gonna be paying a lot of money for shipping. In order to get around that, what you'd like to have is when someone adds something to the cart, you actually offer shipping up to a certain amount, right? Because if you're getting people to spend $300, let's say for argument's sake, because you're making so much profit for that specific order, it's probably worth incentivizing that customer with free shipping. So you actually offer them free shipping if they spend a certain amount. So what customers are gonna do, they might buy one jumper, but then have to pay $20 shipping. Now for them, it might make sense to spend $300 or $200, right? In order to get the free shipping, but get more products, but they save on the shipping. Because if the shipping is $21 and they spend $200, for example, if you offer free shipping, it's 10% off. You can do it in a smart way and position it where it makes sense. You know, ideally what you want in the cart, you want like a little bar up top where it says spend X amount and get free shipping, but there's no offers on this. There's no offers at all, in fact. There's no, and it's just a bit messy, guys. Like, what? It's just a bit messy. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the product photos individually, but I mean, what the hell is this? This is AI. It looks like a little fat, pudgy short guy. It's just like, this is just lazy. Whoever they've got doing this, it's just lazy. Like, it's not a lot of effort. You don't have to put a lot of effort in. This is probably like some dropship product. I mean, you're better off just doing a flat lay product. There's no point trying to Photoshop AI, just bad. Like, you're not going to sell any of these. You're not going to sell a lot of them anyway. So yeah, overall, I mean, there's some good things about this site. It's on brand. It's like another AI photo. What is going on? What is going on? You know, when you start cutting corners like this, it's not about one or two little things, but it's the overall image. Like, customers pick up on these things subconsciously, right? It's just some stuff just doesn't make sense. It's going to affect how much you're selling. When you're not using things to sell in a smarter way, like email marketing or upsells, you're just not taking advantage of the traffic that's already on your site, right? So you're pushing all these people, you're paying paid ads, but you're not actually getting enough sales, right? If you took care of those things, you could be adding 15% revenue to your entire business by doing an upsell, and you could be adding another 40% by doing email marketing properly, right? And then you're doubling your business with the same effort, the same cost, the same ad spend, but you're just putting a little bit of groundwork in and working on the offers. That's all you have to do. So look, let's just rate this, right? Let's just rate this. I've got a sheet of paper. So overall, is it a good brand? Well, let's take a look. Yeah, it is a good brand, right? It's on brand. But let's be real, if this wasn't a personal brand-led brand, would it be selling? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But it is, so there's no point in thinking about that. Overall, I would say it's a good brand. The product selection is good. The product market fit is, I'd probably say let's rate that at 8 out of 10, right? Now, as far as the marketing strategy, you're a bit limited, right? Ideally, what you have is you have a social media channel, then you have a product link to the social media channel, but they obviously sell an info product, which is the real world. So they're going to prefer to sell a service that as a monthly subscription because the margins of that is a lot higher than selling physical products. If you've got to sell a physical product, you've got to pay for the product, pay for the shipping, pay for the advertising, pay for the packaging, pay for the customer service, like all these things add up. They're obviously gonna prefer the other ones. So the marketing strategy overall, I'm gonna say it's a 5 out of 10, right? Ideally, you need to have Facebook ads running, and really, if you're gonna be running Google ads, I mean, there's no way of telling how much they actually spend. But if you're going to be running paid advertising, then you need to have these things like email marketing popping properly, and you need to have these things like the upsells in order to make the advertising actually profitable. Because I can guarantee they're not looking at the profitability of this, they're just running it as just picking up some extra cash. They've got the obviously community of thousands of people, so they're probably selling a lot of products to them. But yeah, overall marketing strategy, let's give it 5 out of 10. Now CRO, which is conversion rate optimization, they've not got any buy now pay later options, which what you usually want. However, it's not super high end. One thing that I would say is Klarna, something like that, but then again, it's not really on brand, I wouldn't say. It depends. The thing is, with conversion rate optimization, it depends what product page you go on, right? So if you go on this one, there's obviously good lifestyle photos, very on brand, and you've got the product photos. They're selling it as a full set, and you know, you have got a breakdown of each. But overall, there could definitely be some improvement. So let's just give that 7 out of 10. Yeah, 7. I think that's generous, to be honest. Branding, look, whether you like it or not, the branding that these guys have built around the personal brand, you've got to give it a 9 out of 10, right? Overall, I'd say it's the 10 out of 10. Overall, that's the analysis, that's the things they're doing right, that's the things they're doing wrong. Anyway, if you need some help on this site, shout me for it, right? Because this is a bit of a mess right now, to be honest. Anyway, we've got another video coming up straight after this one, so click there, take a watch. Till next time, boys!